Glad to invite him in again today for the second time, so it's a big welcome to Jude.
Yes, Sam. Gareth even said it, didn't he? And he said, Ivan was disgraceful. Well, quite a lot of us were actually, Gareth. At half time, it wasn't working. And it was like, we were lucky to be only 1-0 down. When you open the fresh pack of Panini stickers, the smell.
What does it smell like?
It's to die for. Right, in Switzerland, this is how Switzerland line up.
Get up next to the board.
Can I do that?
Yes, and show
Come on.
me.
Robbie got in contact with me.
Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. Yeah. Take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teenage childhood love.
Angels instead. That way. Yeah.
And what is your favourite biscuit? Custard cream.
Custard cream. Yeah.
Classic. Why?
They dunk quite well.
Welcome back to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill. Really looking forward to today's episode. Sam is here, and you spent the day with our guest yesterday, Sam.
Yes, I was absolutely delighted to get to Mottram Hall to play a bit of golf, and we had a fantastic round. So glad to invite him in again today for the second time. So it's a big welcome to Jude.
Yes, Sam. How you doing?
Hey, Jude.
How you doing?
You're back. Thank you.
Yesterday was amazing. What a close match.
We're not revealing who won.
Reveal who won.
Yeah.
But it's
I
a
can't
close
believe
match.
I was,
What a player.
Yeah.
What a player.
Have you always been good at golf? Have you played it? You play a lot?
I played a charity golf match about 3 weeks ago and contributed 5 points in a Stableford out of 18, which is the lowest points total I've ever achieved at it. So it was going so horribly wrong. But I think that the course and playing with tubes yesterday relaxed me a bit more to put in a better performance. So,
some worldy shots.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So that'll be on your YouTube?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah.
In a couple of weeks.
Golf
If people want to see it, Golf Life.
Yeah.
Golf Life, yeah. I can't wait.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's a proper Golf Life episode. Had everything. Buzzing. Thanks for doing it, Sam.
I appreciate it. Well, this interaction with us and Golf Life and No Tippy Tappy Football, hopefully we'll keep blossoming. You know what I mean? So if we're in next season, start of next season, which hopefully we will, we might see you then.
Absolutely.
Because, of course, this is your second time on the podcast, Tubes, and you asked Sam to come on. I like that. When people come on and they ask Sam to do something on camera, it's like he can't say no. So
that's very true, that. Yeah, it's very true, yeah.
Because we're going to manage Dorking next season because he asked us when he was here. So I say Sam's going to manage Dorking next season for one game as well. So ask when you're on. But thank you for coming back.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Your episode was such a brilliant episode.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to start by telling you that we got a message from one of our biggest fans that listens to the podcast after the podcast, and he messaged us to say that your episode had a huge impact on him.
Oh, amazing.
And that he loves the podcast anyway, but to hear somebody like you talk about what you went through and how you've overcome so many things, he said it had a huge impact on him and what he was going through. So I thought you'd like to know that.
No, it's so nice to hear stuff like that, and me speaking out and stuff like that can help others. I think it's important people speak out, especially men. So I'm glad I helped you, mate, and thank you for your message.
No.
I think that's unbelievable, isn't it? Because there seems to be so little help in that area or that department. I mean, you might tell me better, you might know more, but it seems to be all charity instead of being, like the NHS, like you can see your doctor, you can see somebody regarding what you're going through in terms of, whether it be drugs or alcohol or mental, it's not there. It's a big thing if people can talk out, and we've done a thing online about even though you don't know anybody, if you see them, ask them if they're okay.
Yeah.
Just a word, just say, are you okay? Can I help you? Do you need something or what? And then if they do and they're brave enough to say yes, you can at least try and point them in the right direction, like you mean. So we're suffering so much from that suicide rate, particularly. We just got to keep trying to make it better.
If you're struggling, talk people. Simple as that, really.
Love it. I think that's really important to say after our last episode had such an impact on people. So thank you.
No, thank you.
So we are filming this on a Wednesday morning. It is the morning after the round of 16 has finished. So we have the quarterfinalists for the Euro. How have you been enjoying the competition so far?
I've got to be honest. I think the standard's been quite poor,
I agree. Yes.
and I'm really disappointed in the pitches.
Oh, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking about that the other day. Like, I mean, it's showing these big clumps of earth that's coming up when they're running or trying to kick the ball, or you know. So I think that is
It's a big problem.
You wouldn't think that for Germany either, would you? Like,
No,
I mean,
I thought it would be pristine,
you know,
really well organised.
yeah.
It's just, but it's just like when you see the close up and the ball sort of bobbling towards them. John Stones the other day went over his foot. It's just like that affects the quality of football being played. So I've got to be honest. I love football. I love watching football, but I'm not.
And a lack of goals as well, hasn't there?
Just a bit naff.
There's not been many goals, have there?
I'm so glad you both said that, because I feel like my enthusiasm as the competition's gone has started to go down a bit. Now I'm looking at the quarterfinals. I'm excited for quite a few of the quarterfinals. But
Yeah.
Well, ours has gone down because our level hasn't gone up, has it?
Well, yeah.
You know, our level of performance
I think-
hasn't got to. Listen, they gave us the opportunity to lift our spirits, that squad. You know, and it hasn't. I'm glad we're through. Of course, it doesn't matter where you get or how you get there, as long as you get there in the end, and you'll be forgiven. But you know, we didn't expect the performances to be quite as mundane as they are. You know, so hopefully we can produce a better level, and I think we'll need to produce a better level against Switzerland.
I do, big time. It has to improve.
Because I think they're on top of the game. You know.
We're going to get into the Switzerland game. We're going to get your tactical thoughts on it as well, like we did in the last episode as well. Some of the other big stories from the round of 16, Portugal squeezed past Slovenia. And of course, we all got to see Ronaldo's tears again. What did you make of that?
Can I just point out Ronaldo and his free kicks? I mean, we were talking about yesterday.
He says, how many more is he going to take and keep missing?
It was just getting more and more ridiculous. There was one point he was like by the corner flag trying to shoot a free kick. It was just like, I don't know. He's a legend, probably the best ever to play football. You can't knock him.
No, you can't.
One of the best ever.
Surely his teammates have got to go, Ronnie, seriously.
Do you think they call him Ronnie?
Absolutely. Yeah. Big Ron, they call him, apparently. But you've got to stop shooting. He's never ever going to score from these positions. The desperation, he's got to surely put his team first.
No one tells him what to do, I don't
But
think.
they've got to surely say, Big Ron, sort it out, fella.
For the talent they had, they were quite disappointing on that game.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, they've got so much talent in terms of the ability they've got on the ball, the Portuguese side, irrespective. They can carry, which is what they have to do now. They have to carry him. Because you simply don't have the energy at that. He's got great energy for his age, but he hasn't got the same level of energy. Just impossible to do that. So they carry him, and the team with the talent they've got is quite good enough to carry him. And the only thing is, he hasn't scored yet, has he?
No.
You know what I mean? And because he hasn't scored, Roberto is not going to be brave enough to drop him either, is he? So,
Do you think?
Well, he wouldn't be brave enough, would he?
No.
You know
Have you ever been in that position, Sam?
Oh,
where you've had I know his legs have gone, but he is who he is. He has to play.
Well, we sat down, or we talked yesterday about the Bolton, the Bolton era, and I had to sit down with Yuri Yorkaev, World Cup winner, European winner, and said, "Sorry, I think your legs have gone." I think it wasn't like that, of course, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that like Yuri. Well, I'm just thinking that physically your talent's unbelievable, but we're not going to offer you a new contract, like you mean, and you get the glare.
How did he take that?
Just not very well.
No.
Neither JJ either.
How hard was it for you to have that?
Oh man, facing that one's not easy. Then you got to replace them. That's even harder. You know what I mean? So that's a tough one. When you're You know, you're in that position where you're saying, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to get a new contract here, you know. So it's a difficult task to have to face. It's not as hard as being an academy director and letting a lad go at 18 who starts crying, or your mum and dad start shouting at you and say in an absolute disgrace, which can happen because they're so unbelievably
I imagine that happens
focused,
quite a lot, right?
You know, yeah. You know, so that's harder, but it's a fact of the job that you have to do when you're preparing yourself on how you're going to approach it. And some, you know, however they take it, you have to take it on the chin and let them. If they're going to let the steam off and let the steam go, then, you know, you just have to take it on the chin and, you know, try and go, look, thanks everybody so much for what you've done for us. You've been absolutely outstanding, but, you know, we all need to move on.
I can't imagine Roberto has that conversation with Ronaldo.
Sim sat there like that. Yeah, just take some more free kicks.
Yeah. Do what you want, lad. What are you going to do? Yeah.
But going back to your question about the tears, it shows that he cares, I suppose, and he's passionate about his country. So.
Yeah, and I don't mean to mock him in any way, because when I want to, but I also don't want to. Because when I showed my son, I was like, because my son loves Ronaldo, because all 6-year-olds love Ronaldo. I was like, look, it's fine. Ronaldo cries. It's fine to cry.
It's fine to cry. I think that this is out of what he wanted to achieve himself first before Portugal, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know,
he wants the glory.
And if you are at his level, you have to be that selfish, I think. You know what I mean? But where he didn't do himself any favours was the last World Cup. This is not at all. Yeah. You know, he's passionate about his country. He wants his team to do well. Don't forget, the last time they won the Euros, he never played a part really because he came off injured. So he'll want to get there for him, won't he? As much as the country. But I thought that how he handled himself in the last World Cup was. But he seems to, you know.
Do you mean when he was like trying to be the manager and stuff?
Well, he was like dismissive with everybody, and you know, like his hands were giving it that, like, you mean, so which didn't look very, very good, you know, when they got knocked out, you know. So but you know, everybody reacts differently when they're upset about losing in that sort of level of competition.
That side of the draw is so tasty. I'm looking forward to both those quarterfinals.
Well, aren't we lucky we're on the other side then?
So lucky. So England are so lucky. So on that side of the draw, the surprise is though, I really fancied Austria to go, like from seeing them in the group stages. I really fancied Austria.
It was a shock, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it was, even though it probably wasn't before the tournament, but after the group games, it felt like it was. We're going to get all your predictions for the quarters at the end of the episode as well. I think you did 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8 for the first ones. So we'll see. We'll see if we can beat it. So right, let's talk about England. So
the last game or the game that's coming up?
Let's do the last game first. And you both immediately looked uncomfortable. What did you make of it, Sam?
I was down in the Sky Sports news studio doing a bit of commentary as it was going on before and after, like you mean. So I was getting a little uptight about the performance, like you mean, but I was also tactically talking about how quick, and you've heard me talk about this before here on the podcast, how quick you need to make your substitutions, and it never really happened again, but the substitutions saved us in the end, and particularly Ivan Toney, because of his. I mean, we'd never. My experience in the game was we were particularly second half where we were dominating. We were throwing balls in the box and they were heading everything out. The centre halves, and they were high fiving each other when they were heading, come on, giving it all that, like you mean. So you're going, get him up off the bench, 30 minutes to go, Ivan Toney. Yeah. Get him down the middle on crosses, bump. So imagine what he might have done prior to that, if they had 35 minutes, if they were putting the sort of balls in they were putting. I mean, I've never seen an England team cross as many balls in that period in the second half. But the centre halves were just, none of our players were good enough to get on the end of it. Their centre halves were, like I said, the more they were putting in, the more running out, the more comfortable they were getting, the more like, well, throw another one in, it won't matter. But as soon as Ivan Toney came on, and after that, playing up off him, he's backing in, getting a foul, holding it up, and it was something we needed. Sooner we got it in the end, so full marks. And I quite liked his change when he went with the back three and played the wide man as wing backs.
Saka on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Wright called that.
People weren't laughing at Ian Wright after that, were they? Yeah.
So that he put the two wide men as wing backs, which was a good idea as well. And and in the end, we got through. So the other side of it, what I didn't like was in the second half of extra time was us sitting back again. You know what I mean? We sat back again. I'm not sure that came from Gareth. I think that came from. So I watched the game like this, and then this is me as a professional. This is me. What I point out to the players, right? So the opposition get the ball, right, and the England players did what? Started retreating backwards.
Sat back, yeah.
Started going that way instead of going that way.
Yeah.
And that was the mental side of like, we got 2-1 up, let's hang on to it, which is dangerous because in the end that's what punished Slovakia. And it could have, in the end, because balls started to come in our box again.
Is that fear? Is that nerves from them?
It seems to be the trait of England over the last 8 years. I think Gareth Winning has. I'm not sure it comes from him. I don't think it does. I think it comes from.
Would it not be from him though? Would he not say this is what
thought,
we in training? They obviously go through the patterns of play.
I wouldn't have thought so.
So in that case, shouldn't he be going, get your asses up there?
Well,
yeah.
It's very difficult on the touchline to get the team to respond. He can do it at one or two players, but it comes from more conversations and visually saying, look, you can't keep doing this. Because when you go into the next round and you get 1-0 up, I mean, we talked about how many goals, our England team has in Germany, in Real Madrid, and in England at the top level. The goals everywhere in that team. I mean, more goals than we've ever had before this season. And how many shots do we have? How many chances do we create? But across, I'm looking at purely that. But then I go and watch all the others. And now I'm saying, well, just a minute. All the others are very similar. France, Portugal. I mean, Germany are probably, and Spain are probably looking at the best two at the moment. Spain ended up winning 4-1, didn't they have to go in 1-0 down? And I think
they look good, real good, Spain.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but the other sides were supposed to be right up there, like Germany, Portugal, France. Because the Germans are at home, the demand on them is even greater. But, France do that. France have been doing that for ages because Didier Deschamps is a massive, massive clean sheet man. And like I've said before, if we have the best defence, we'll be in the final.
What did you make of the game overall, Tubes?
Again, I don't want to be one of these people to jump on the bandwagon, but you can't say anything else apart from it was really poor. It was really poor. It's like
we don't want to say it.
No, we don't.
None of us, particularly me. I have the criticism I've had, and the criticism that you get here and there across the board. Sometimes it goes along with the job, like you mean. So as a professional, I don't want to be criticising what
you're
what
always positive about. It's only literally the last two England games that I've heard you say, because you're always positive about England.
But you can't falsify it, if that's the right word. You know what
definitely.
I mean?
There's no point sitting here and going, "Oh, there's they played well."
Because we all watched it.
Because we didn't play well, but we are through. And what Sam said about Ivan Toney, I thought when he came on, he made a big difference. He proper gets stuck in, and you've got to mention Jude Bellingham. I mean, that goal was it was out of this world, and I don't see us scoring until he did that, and then so we're through, but it's got to get better.
So I don't know if you saw our last episode. If you're listening and you've not seen the clip, I'd encourage you to get onto our Instagram or YouTube and have a look at the clip of Sam talking about Ivan Toney. So it was recorded before the last game, and Sam basically said, if we're in trouble, you put Ivan Toney on and this is how you play. And then that's exactly what happened. It's gone viral, Sam. I think it's nearly had 1 million views or something like that.
Not that popular.
Yeah, you're very popular. You're very, very popular.
Come on.
Yes.
Up the No Tippy Tappy Football.
I agree with you. Like when he brought him on with 2 minutes to go, I thought,
too late.
Me?
Gareth even said it, didn't he? And he said, Ivan was disgraceful. Well, quite a lot of us were actually, Gareth. It's like, you've got to be like, make that change at half time. At half time, it wasn't working. And it was like, we were lucky to be only 1-0 down. And it was like, you have to change it. It's like, like Cole Palmer, when he came on the last game, he was excellent, changed the game, but then he didn't start. Like, I'm not a football manager. It's better coming from Sam, but the whole nation can't be wrong.
It's been our trait through our pattern that we need to break. You've heard me saying about, the quicker you move the ball through the lines, however which way you do that, the more opportunities you're going to get, the easier it is to break down the opposition. And we are not good at breaking down a team that plays a 11 behind the ball just outside their own 18-yard box. The back 4 or 5 line up across the 18-yard box, and the rest funnel back in front of them. And because we play so slow, that's what we're faced with by the time we get to the final third of the pitch. And we are not good at breaking that down. We're not like Man City. They do that every week. They break that down nearly every week. But we, as an international team, are not that good at breaking that down. And that's why we have to play quicker to get behind the front man and their midfield to get at the back lads.
And in my opinion, do you know what would help that? Is with those friendlies we have before massive tournaments. Play your team that you're going to play. Don't play players that aren't even going to be going to the Euros, or if they do go to Euros, are the last resort. I don't understand why.
I'll tell you why, shall I?
Yeah, please.
Because managers ring up and say he's dead on his feet. He's had so many games. He's had Champions League, Champions League. It's a friendly. You know what I mean? If you want him for the Euros, he could be injured. He could be. So if you're going to play him in a meaningless friendly, then you're risking the player for you. It's risking the player for me.
Wow.
I mean, effectively, what you're doing is.
Then there's no point in the friendly, then, is there?
Well, there is. It's money.
Right. Okay.
That's the only point. So the only other point for friendly is to try new players that are, is to try, Palmer and people like that, like you mean, who haven't been tried before. Because even if you lose a friendly, Tubes, you're still going to get stick, even though it's only a friendly. Oh, they picked the wrong side. They weren't this, they weren't that, they weren't the other. But it's not. I mean, listen, it's not just here. It's across the whole of the territory at international level. Because people in this tournament will ask, what's the press like in Portugal? Brutal. France, brutal. Germany, brutal. Italy, brutal. So it's not just here. It's across the board today, and probably always has been like that. But because of the exposure now, it's even more across the board, because it's not just through the press and the television. It's through all social media sites. So a friendly is one, a money maker, and two, an opportunity for the manager to blood younger players. But you see what they've done again, because this is all money based. What FIFA have done again, and UEFA, is put that stupid trophy in. What's it called? That stupid cup.
UEFA
Nations Cup. So they've done another one.
Yeah.
To put to just make the player play even more games at what's supposed to be competitive level. at the end of a season exactly when they don't want it. So no player, and players can't complain about this by how much they paid, but no player ever gets a rest at this level anymore.
Have you seen next summer, by the way?
It's 24/7 football.
My mind is blown by next summer.
Yeah.
14th of June, this FIFA World Cup Club Cup starts, till the 15th of July that City are in and that Chelsea are in. That is 2 weeks after the Champions League final.
Wow.
And they've got to go to America for a month to play in this competition. So many games, though. And one man, obviously, that's played as many games as you humanly possibly can last season was Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Talking about press, I mean, that man is everywhere, isn't he? For the goal, which was absolutely insane, what did he say? Was it who else? Who else, he apparently said. To the celebration police question. What do you think of
who's questioning it?
UEFA are saying, so the lewd handover crotch gesture, UEFA are saying...
It's nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
saying big balls. Big balls, that's what he's saying, isn't it?
Have you seen what UEFA have ignored in
Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam.
Have you seen what they've done in their particular time, mate? Well, they've something to talk about when they are like what they are. Yeah. What about when it was trying to stamp racism out of European football and they do nothing about it? Yeah. Hit him with a 15 grand fine or something stupid like that. What are they talking about? Yeah. They're talking a lad who just used his arms. We all know what he's talking about. You need him. You need him to play at Lebanon. You need him.
Yeah, I mean, it's nonsense, basically. Like, what are they going to do? Oh, you said that, you need big balls. Like,
yeah.
He's not... I mean,
you do.
It's ridiculous. It's not like he's whipped it out or anything, is it? It's like
it's pathetic. It's
stupid. Like, there's nothing to it.
He's going to get a fine, I would think. I'd think he's going to get a slap on the wrists.
But I don't get it.
No,
I don't get it. Nonsense.
It does feel like the priorities are very, very skewed, like you say there, Sam.
The whole world's skewed at the minute. I mean, I'm an old man now, so I'm going to tell everybody it's skewed because I think it is, like you mean. So, it makes me feel uncomfortable in today's society. I think it's quite dangerous in many, many ways. Not just from the point of view, but also from what's happening at the moment. So, but when you're talking about playing football and somebody doing something, I mean, in the old days, people used to drop the shorts and wave the backside at the crowd when they were booing them, and everybody'd start laughing. You know what I mean? I think he's the left back at Arsenal once. I can't remember his name. Like
so childish but funny.
And he just turned round and dropped his shorts and went like that, and everybody burst out laughing, like you mean. So now it's like, whoa, yeah, ban him now. Oh, I have to sack him now. Like I mean, it's just like, oh God.
Yeah. Tubes, you've interviewed a lot of footballers over your career. Is it nice when you come across a footballer that does have a bit of personality?
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to Jude, how impressive is he, by the way?
When he talks,
when he speaks,
yeah.
Just turned 21.
It's unbelievable, and he's just gone like that, hasn't he? This last season at Madrid, and you just look at him and the way he speaks. I'd love to interview him. Because I reckon he's a right good laugh as well. But yeah, I mean, one of them's there, Declan Rice. When he comes on the Golf Channel, you wouldn't know he plays for Arsenal, England international.
Top man.
He was up on the buggy being Spider-Man. And
was he?
It's just great to see like people like that, and gives an honest answer. Do you know what I mean? If they play bad, they tell you, there's a lot of them now. There's a lot of them. But Dec's up there. He's proper, just a normal bloke who's just really, really good at football.
Well, that's what they are, mate.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Yeah,
even the top lad. Well, in my experience, even the top lads are Yuri, JJ Kocher, Ivan Campo, Fernando Hierro. They're good. I've had a few naughty boys like Jufy and that. Like you mean, that's that goes with the territory. Like
Mario Jardel,
yeah.
Off the night out.
I mean, they're nothing like that. But the uncontrollables. Sometimes. You know what I mean? So let's party.
Yeah.
But when you deal with them, when you talk to them, when you meet him for the first time, then you know, they just love football. They just want to play football. There's not, there's nothing really scary about them. Not really.
No. But I think they're advised, don't say this, don't say that, don't say that. It's like,
well, they have to
they
be
just
advised
come
more than that now,
but they just come across like robots. Like, I think I played a really good game. Yes, big game coming up at the weekend. Like, and it's like
the tweets after a loss.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Yeah. Got battered 7-0. Really enjoyed being out there with the lads. Not the result we wanted. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Really. But no,
fans were class.
Yeah, exactly. Atmosphere was buzzing.
Yeah.
But no, it's that Declan Rice is a great good one. So Saka. There's quite Phil Foden as well. You know Phil.
Yeah.
He's just a normal lad and just he's so
he
funny.
Loves football, yeah.
Yeah. So
he just had another.
Yes, congratulations to him, another
done,
baby.
Phil.
Yes.
Is that his third?
Or fourth.
Oh, right.
Yes, I forget. Yeah. Makes some cute kids, that guy as well. In terms of that Bellingham goal, though, it is a sensational goal. Sam, in your opinion, if England go on to win this tournament, get to the final, win this tournament, does that goal go down as one of the most important?
Point.
Yes,
one
of, and in terms of the best England goals
of
one
of
the
best one of them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think John Barnes goes a long way back in history, but that wasn't in an international tournament. I think that was against I think that was against Brazil.
It was against Brazil, yeah.
Where he dribbled nearly from his own half and scored. So he did a Brazilian against the Brazilians.
Yeah. Unreal goal.
Something.
He picked up the ball and whoosh, went all the way through. Like I mean, so I think that we've seen some great goal. Gaza scored a goal or two. You know,
that one against Scotland.
Dentist chair. Thanks for that. Yep.
But to try that
in that moment.
At that moment, for me, will go down one of the greatest goals because the audacity to try that. Most players would be just like, try and get your head on it or just nod it on. He's gone, nah, I'm going to try an overhead kick here.
I feel like that is the Real Madrid factor.
100%.
The mentality that football... I've been in the stadium when they've been losing with 2 minutes to go, and the mentality in that stadium is they are still going to win that game.
Yeah.
Before we get your tactics for the Switzerland game, there's one other point that I want to talk about. It's been a thread throughout the Euros. Again, the conversations, Tubes, you'll have had it as well. The midfield situation with Declan Rice. So we saw...
What's wrong with it?
So we had Trent, we've had Conor Gallagher, and then we've had Kobe Mainoo. Is Mainoo the choice now? Without giving us your tactics away, because you're going to give us your team in a minute, is he above the pecking order of? I know you're a big Conor Gallagher fan. I remember from the last joke. Is he above Gallagher and Trent now?
I think so, yeah. Because I think he did well. I think he's so composed, and I think that's what we need in there. I think Dec's been real good, but he's not playing the role like he plays for Arsenal, is he? For England, he's not really getting...
No, he's playing the role he played for West Ham all the time, though.
Yeah, and I think Dec's...
So he's back to that, like you mean. So
yeah, I think Declan's good going forward.
But Arsenal play
for me, yeah.
Yeah, Tubes. Arsenal play with that three, don't they? The one and the two either side, which is Declan end up going one of those on the either side rather than the one. Gareth will not change from his two. He won't. He has them two together, and he's never done any different.
So we'll get your team in a minute, but are you expecting Mainoo to start Switzerland?
100%.
100%
he starts. I would like to see a couple of changes, but I'll leave that to Sam when he does his tactics. But Kobe Mainoo, deserves to start. I think he's been, out of all the options we've had in there this campaign, I think he's been the strongest.
Right, if you are listening on the podcast, nothing changes. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll be back in a second on our new big fancy whiteboard where Sam will have his team for the Switzerland game. Quick change of plan. Yeah. This is not Sam's team for the Switzerland game. This is manager Tubes' team for the England game. So Tubes got really excited when Sam was doing his team. So we thought we'd give him the opportunity to be a manager. And you're very happy about this,
I'm absolutely buzzing.
So Tubes put his team on the whiteboard. If you're listening to the podcast, have a look on our Instagram or YouTube, and we'll have a specific clip for this section. It's definitely worth going to watch, as the Ivan Toney clip from the last game, because we're going to get Sam and Tubes, first of all, to describe their tactics for the Switzerland game. So manager Tubes, you are representing all England fans. Is this the team you believe is the best possible team to play Switzerland?
I do. I think we just go for it. When Saka played left back the other night, I thought he was decent. Wing back. I thought he was wing back. Sorry, he was brilliant. Obviously, we're going to be a little bit limited, but Kyle Walker has played in a 3 before.
Yeah,
he never lets England down. John Stones, obviously. Ezra Konsa, fantastic footballer.
And the reason, because Gay is suspended, just in case anyone doesn't know.
He's been very, very good in the tournament as well. And, for someone to come into a tournament at that level and do so well has been brilliant. Trent, I think we need him on the pitch. At the right back, whipping in his crosses.
Defensive responsibility.
Exactly.
Back, yeah.
Phil Foden.
I'm agreeing with him here.
Come on,
come on, Jude!
Come on, England! Come on, Jude Bellingham. Just let him do what he wants with Phil Foden. Declan Rice, he's up and back. Kobe Mainu, just there conducting play. I wasn't sure about Cole Palmer for Phil Foden, but I'd start Phil. And then if it's not working, Cole comes on. And the same for Harry Kane and Ivan Toney.
Right,
in Switzerland, this is how Switzerland line up.
Get up next to the board.
Can I do that?
Yes, and show me some movement of where you think, what you want to see from this team.
Well, I want Saka getting up here, whipping balls in. Great left foot. He can bring a ball. This man here, his delivery is second to none. Sorry, if you're not watching, it's Trent up and down the wing. Kobe comes in here.
Yep.
In front of the back 3, if you're listening. Deck just doing, and just give the ball to these two.
Yep.
Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden, they're geniuses on the ball.
Where do you like Harry?
Up. Stay up the pitch. Don't be coming back here because you don't need to be coming back here because you've got these 4 top players in the middle. And I just think Harry Kane needs deliveries into the box and he needs to stay in the box. And you've got Saka and Trent who can do that from wing-back situations. And these two can thread the ball through to Harry Kane, who will put it in the back of the net if he gets given a chance. We go on and win the Euros. That's the team. Come on.
Okay. Now, Sam, what do you think of Tube's team and setup?
I've got one thing about what that does, and that's obviously a big change from what Gareth's been used to, right? I mean, but Gareth has, in the early stages, liked a back 3. So they sit down and look at Switzerland and they say, do we go and match them up? Or do we stay like we are? So there's one good thing you can say to the players if you match them up. It's battle for battle between you and him. Because you both play in the same system. If you play a different system, it's how well your system works against how well their system does. So you have to make your system more dominant than theirs. If you're playing a different system to what Switzerland are playing, so it's a good choice, and I think it's well balanced, and we've still got the. My concern is the one thing we can't break is what we're really, really fantastic at this time round, which is we've got one of the best defensive records in the competition. And the best defensive record will take you to the final, I believe. So it does slightly disrupt that, but because you've got injuries and you've got fatigue. Suspensions. You've got to look at what you've got in the squad and be brave enough to change it. So I think that's a good choice, and I think that when you've had time to think and then assess the fact that they've had extra time as well, and that most of the team has been playing all the time, that it might be time that you do change personnel and the system. So I think it's a good choice.
How do you feel, Tubes?
I'm buzzing. I love it. I mean, Gareth won't do it.
We've all got excited about it.
Absolutely no chance that's going to happen. But I was speaking to the guys here behind the cameras. They said if they saw that team as an England fan, you know, on Saturday evening, they'd be excited. I mean, but again, I'm not a football manager, but I just like the balance of the team, and I just think we should be given, free rein to Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham.
There's only one discussion he has to have. Real discussion is he has to have with Saka, and is he comfortable playing there? And that's a simple question. Are you comfortable playing left wing back? And I don't want you to say yes because you think, oh, you want me to say yes. I want you to say yes.
Yeah.
Because you are. If you're not, yeah. You know what I mean? The problem is he thinks if he says, I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to play, he's going to say, well, I'm not going to say that because I want to play, so I'm going to say yes. It's a very, very difficult choice because it's a make or break decision. Because that's because of the width you've got in the team. That's more than your width than anywhere else.
Right. Give us. Would your team have been different to?
Well, I'm going to base. I'm not discounting the back three at all because it matches up the opposition because of what he's had. As Tubes talked about in there, I'd probably give Palmer a go instead of Foden.
You would?
Yeah. I know you're a Man City fan, but because he's had every game, he's just had a newborn. He's had to fly back, and so I'm taking everything into account. They've played a lot of football, the same 11, So, but if I went,
give us your Sam.
If I went,
get up to the tactic zone,
which is a bit of what Gareth's done. So if I went to back three, I wouldn't be too far off that.
Who do you want as do you want somebody from the side for your left back?
Well, it would be Trippier again, wouldn't it?
Where's Trippier? We've not got him there.
I'm not. Is he fit?
Is he injured though? He went off injured.
He went off injured. So
let's say he's fit. He might be fit.
No, if he's not fit, he might be injured. Then.
What's
let's see. I want to play. I'm going to just do a back four bit. All right, just on this. So let's say I'd play that then.
Can try and play left back. Well, you just have to
day long.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether it doesn't matter whether it's that or that, does it? Like I mean, so this is Gareth. This is Gareth, not me. Because I keep saying what I do and it never happens. So I'm going to say what I think Gareth should be more likely doing.
I reckon if Gareth is watching this, he might actually try what I've suggested.
Hey, the last clip went viral, so he might well end up watching it if he's on social media while he's out there.
You're welcome, Gareth.
He seems, and I'm going off Gareth on what he seems to prefer over me.
Okay.
All right.
So for podcast listeners, Sam has just taken out Phil Foden.
What he seems to prefer, whatever happens, he's never been thrown on apart from 2 minutes, I think, once. So okay. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just talking about why. So, wow. So if you've got a back four playing against a back three, right? Your biggest area of exposure is these areas here, right? So what happens with these areas? The most important players to come into play that they can't mark are your fullbacks. So what happens is when you got the ball, that goes like that, that goes like that, and that drives the whole of the back five of Switzerland back into their half, and then these two have all this space to come into. So you end up there. So all this becomes attacking. Yeah, these become your men that get forward and provide the crosses. These you got 3 and 4 in the box, or 3 in the box, 2 on the edge of the box. Then you got 3 behind, just sitting to pen the opposition in. So if you're going to play how Gareth likes to play, the exposure of Switzerland can only be so. And what we haven't seen is we haven't seen them do that. What we haven't seen is, in my opinion, all we've seen is, let's say, play them, and this has to stop. These can't keep doing that. Come to feet, come to feet, come to feet, come to feet. Because what'll happen is the wing back will just go tight on him, even tighter than the back four. So what they do is they do that, and they force them back to give them that space. And now we're farther up the pitch. Harry Kane gets the start, and then he gets changed based on the number of service we give him. But what we're doing is we're getting Bellingham in the box who likes to score. We're getting Kane in the box. Eze from that side. Palmer might be the crosser, so Walker could come in that side, or Trent come in this side.
Okay.
I love Sam's explanation and reasons why compared to mine. He's going, duh, duh, duh. I'm just going, him go up.
Yeah, but it is my life. It is my life.
Harry can just stay in the box.
You know what I mean? So, and what happens today is it's in my eyes, it's a simple explanation for the players to understand. We have this weird way of complicating it. The coaches today have this weird way of complicating of how complicated the game is. Like you mean, so they're all talking BS for their own benefits.
Right.
The game is not complicated; it's simple. The simpler the game, the better the players understand, the better performance you'll get. All this, like, you know, all these new words like low but lateral movement, all this, you know, look at me, I've created a new word. You know what I mean? It's a simple game. If there's space, run into it or play into it.
Yeah.
So if the space is in front of you, you play to the space. If the space is behind you, you run into the space. And if somebody creates a space for you, you run into that space. So let's just talk space. So the space is what has to be exploited if you want to score.
It's a bit simple, really, when you put it like that, yeah.
So with that in mind, what is the score going to be when England take on Switzerland?
Well, they're only going to go by one goal if they get through. Based on this competition, they're either going to win 1-0 or win 2-1.
Tubes?
I think if they go in my formation, they win 7-1.
But we're all up for it again, aren't we? We've got over, you know, what was quite, look, the joy.
A last minute winner does that, or last minute equaliser, yeah.
The joy, and for Gareth and everybody. And I have to say this because I've been critical, and I have to say this. I'm so pleased they got through, and so please. I don't want to be throwing out negative vibes because to get enough of that as it is in that position anyway. But unfortunately, it's not. I can't say anything else other than I have always said. Defensively, they've been exceptionally good, and that needs to maintain one of the big tactics. So the balance on going forward has to get better and create more chances, but they must keep that defensive solidarity because that's what's got them as far as they are now, plus a bit of brilliance here and there, and in particular the last game, you know.
So it's Saturday, 5 p.m. kickoff. Yeah. It's going to be wild in this country on Saturday night at 5 p.m. Where are you going to be watching it?
In Spain.
Oh, are you? Are you on holiday?
I am.
Okay.
Well, I have a bit of business on in terms of the villa that I'm revamping for the family. So
very nice. Oh, I love watching a tournament abroad. How about you? Where are you?
Yeah. This is the most random place I'll be watching it. I'm going to be backstage with Robbie Williams at Hyde Park watching it.
With Robbie?
Yeah. It's so like
what are you doing?
What?
It's so random. It's just so bizarre how it's happened. Like, so I don't want to go through the struggles again, but you know, with the alcohol and stuff like that, Robbie got in contact with me.
Oh,
Robbie
brilliant.
Williams.
Robbie Williams,
Yeah.
take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
teenage
I'm
childhood
loving
love.
angels
Yeah.
instead. That way, yeah. And he was like, I followed you, Soccer AM. I watch all your golf stuff. I was like, what? And he was like, obviously I've had struggles in the past, so it got to a point where we'd talk like most nights. He'd phone up, and then we started doing during COVID. We started doing Panini sticker albums, but we would do it on FaceTime. It was so bizarre.
That's to stop him going mad, isn't it?
Yeah, so anyway, he said, "Come and watch. Do you want to come and watch some of my concerts?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." Obviously, my mum, my girlfriend. So when Hyde Park came around, Amy, my girlfriend, and her mum said, "Can we go? Can we go?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll ask." He was like, "I'd love you to come. Please come and watch." And then when we won at the weekend, Amy said, "That's the night of Robbie Williams." I'm like, So I messaged saying, "I don't suppose you've got a screen backstage or anything, have you? Or are you going to show it?" He's like, "Yeah, all sorted. Come backstage and watch it with us." So that's where I'll be watching it on Saturday.
I have so many questions.
Send him my regards.
I will do.
Tell him Sam says, will you come on his podcast?
Well, just fly back from Spain. Let's all go.
Yes, let's all go!
Let's all go. So, it's
seen
going to
it.
be random. I'll be watching in Hyde Park on the screen.
How did the Panini stickers go with him? Did you complete your books?
Oh,
we had a good go. It was really something to look forward to.
have you got Panini stickers from way back?
I know the new one we did.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, it was really like, when you get a shiner, you're absolutely buzzing.
Have you seen how much some of them are worth now?
Oh yeah.
Do you know it's not Panini this year?
Is it not?
Tops.
Tops.
My son's got it. It's rubbish.
Oh right.
It's just not the same.
Okay.
There's still a thrill of a shiny, but
What do you mean it's not the same?
it's just not the same. The book's not the same. It doesn't smell the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't look the
Have
same.
they gone cheap and cheerful, have they?
Yeah.
Oh,
You reckon
when you
make
open
more money?
the fresh pack of Panini stickers, the smell,
What do they smell like?
it's to
I'm with
die
you.
for. Oh, it's
I'm with you.
beautiful.
My 6-year-old gets so unbelievably excited to bursting point
So
about
these-
opening the stickers.
I love this
Are these
podcast.
are these
We talked about biscuits
Have they
before,
come
now
there
we're
to buy
talking
it off
about
Panini
Panini.
then?
So they go, UEFA, I presume, sell the rights, and it went to Panini versus Topps, and Topps got it for the first time.
So Topps paid.
Sam, it was a big thing a few months ago.
Topps paid
Yeah.
fee for more than anybody else.
Well, I
then.
think they need to go back to Panini because honestly, it's just not the same. If you're in the comments on YouTube or Instagram, please will you write and agree with me if you've seen it. It's just not the
I
same.
wonder how they got the rights off the players to do all that.
So they don't have all the rights. Topps don't have all the rights.
Oh, so
Because players have a lot of rights to their own.
Because there's some really random players in this Topps, and I'm like, he wasn't even like being talked about being near the squad. Like, yeah, this is a whole other.
Well,
Yeah.
what a shit.
Anyway, you did Paninis with Robbie Williams.
yeah.
You're my
And
hero.
then I should have seen Robbie in Abu Dhabi and I couldn't make it because I was ill last year. In concert. So, and since since I've been at soccer, I haven't seen him for ages. So I'm looking forward to that. But send him my regards.
I will do.
Love him to bits.
He's such a top guy.
He gave me some of the best. Asking me to come on Soccer Aid and manage at that time was 10 years of great. Some of the best 4 days I've ever had in my life.
He absolutely loves football. I honestly reckon you could get him on here.
Oh, God, stop it.
No, honestly. I reckon he'd come on.
Well, we'd have to go to him.
We'll go to him.
We'd go to him, yeah.
We'll go to him.
Yeah.
But we will. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go to him.
I don't want to sound like I'm an idiot, but like Charlie Biggs fans, but I'll ask him for
Yeah,
you.
ask him.
Please.
Yeah.
Say Sam said.
When you ask people live when they're filming, they can't say, no, please will you ask Robbie Williams to come
Yeah.
on the podcast?
All day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Are
you.
you a fan by any chance?
I take that with my absolute and utter. I was one of those that was heartbroken when they split up. Like,
Really?
went into school crying, like,
Wow.
so, yeah.
Favourite tune?
I mean, Back for Good is just a classic. Although when you listen to it as an adult, the words don't mean as much because you're like, well, what's he done?
Yeah, I
What
like
has he done?
Everything Changes But You.
And it's a classic, and that
You're
Robbie sings that
1,000
one,
miles
so-
apart, but I know I love you.
Yeah, that's a great tune.
I
We Like My
watched
Fire.
them live when they got him to go back
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
up in Sunderland. The first
Dream.
concert, with the big robot.
yeah.
that came up.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Remember the big robot?
Yeah,
Yes,
I do
I went to
actually.
see
Yeah.
that one.
You were there?
Not at
You know where that
Sunderland,
is, don't you?
No.
Well, I don't know whether it's still there. It's in his garden in LA.
The robot.
The robot. He took the robot and put it in his garden in LA, he told me.
Wow.
I mean, so, yeah, go way back.
Okay. Football.
What a man.
What a podcast.
What a podcast.
What a podcast. Thanks, Tubes. Right, we're going to do some quick fire. Who's going to go through in the quarters?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know what? I just feel like everybody's going to agree. My Netherlands-Turkey might be a tasty one. Right. Actually, no, this is tough. Okay, Spain versus Germany.
Spain.
Spain.
Portugal versus France.
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 England versus Switzerland.
England.
I'm not going to say Switzerland, am I, you left
England.
devil? England.
Netherlands versus Turkey.
Turkey.
I'm going to go Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
And can I also go? I've pieced again. Have you seen the Netherlands fans
They're amazing.
when they go? I've watched it about
They walk.
500 times.
I think we talked
Instagram
about
this
that
week.
yesterday.
When they're going left,
and
right,
then back again.
right. It's the
Yes, it's not as good. It's not as good as the Iceland fans, though, is it?
yeah.
As good as the Scotland fans.
No.
Scotland
No,
fans
but the
are
Iceland
amazing.
fans bought that
The clap.
Yeah.
the clap in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reverberated all around the ground, isn't it? Like I mean, so
Okay.
at the wrong time as well when we got beat by them. That was,
Scotland singing "Flower of Scotland"
It
is
was
unbelievable.
one of the greatest moments of my life. I was at the Switzerland game.
Yeah.
So
Were you filming it? Did I see it?
I did. Do you know what? I did it for about 3 seconds, and then I put my phone down because I just wanted to. Yes, so I did put about 3 seconds on my Instagram. I just wanted to live the moment with my dad.
Yeah.
And
Turkey's my wild card, by the way, when it comes to that result.
Okay.
So I can't keep going with we're all if you keep going with the flow or who you think's the best, it never actually pans out to be like that, does it? There's always going to be a shock somewhere. So Turkey would
Turkey, England, a semi-final would be tasty on and off the pitch, by the way. Right, we've done a lot of football, a lot of random things, and I'm just going to finish the podcast today by saying, if you're watching, you'll have noticed that randomly we've got a plate of biscuits on the table today. We never have biscuits ever on the table, never in this podcast ever. And it sparked a conversation about biscuits before we started. So, Sam, what is your favourite biscuit? Custard cream?
Custard cream, yeah.
Classic, why?
They dunk quite well.
Okay.
Yeah, but you two also said you dunk toast.
I love to
Yeah.
Fully
toast.
buttered.
I dunk toast with butter on, yeah.
Yeah, butter. It makes the butter melt a bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It normally get if it's hot toast, it doesn't get dunked. If I've waited too long and it's got cold, then it gets dunked.
Do you not dunk anything, Tubes?
No, I'm not a dunker.
You're not a dunker?
Not really.
I love a dunk.
I'm more of a double
Perhaps we
espresso
can ask
man.
our subscribers to
Yeah.
say what do they like. What might be a bit.
If you're watching at home, comment down below what you dunk.
Yeah, but if you think dunking toast is a bit weird, what do you dunk?
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Sam and I like to dunk toast. What do you like to dunk?
There you go. See what we come back with.
This is up there with the best podcast we've ever done. If you've got to this point, it's a treat.
I absolutely love random stuff. I've picked my England team. I've talked about my favourite Take That tune.
And you showed us your tactics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're tactically, weren't bad at all.
Over 1,000 games in charge, and you've got me, numbnuts up there going like that, up there, come back, just stay in the box. Job done.
Everybody watches go, yeah, Tubes. Yeah, that was great, Tubes. That was great. Okay, I've got one last question, but I don't know if we should just finish it. I was going to ask you, if you're playing golf with, if you could pick 3 England players to play golf with, to do a round of golf with, you're going to choose Deck, you've already mentioned.
No.
Who would you have? Yeah, right now, from
right
the current
now.
squad, who are you playing golf with?
The current squad, I'd love to get Jordan Pickford on. Hopefully that's going to happen.
Okay, so you're having him?
Kyle Walker said he's going to come on.
Stop.
So's Ivan Toney. Harry Kane, obviously. We've
You have
tried.
to go to Germany for that.
I'd love to get him and Eric Dyer together. It'd be amazing. And so Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Jordan Pickford would be the ones. But there's a few on there that have said will come on. So yeah.
Amazing.
I just want to talk about biscuits and dunking.
Well, next time you do a podcast, next time you do a round of golf with one of them, say Big Sam dunks toast. What do you dunk?
Yeah, it'd be a nice T-shirt that as well.
Big Sam dunks toast.
On the back, what do you dunk?
Oh, I love it.
There you go.
I don't know how far this is going to go. This dunking bit, like I mean.
Bit of No Tippy Tappy Football merch.
Why are we not already doing merch?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much,
No,
Jude, for
thank
coming on. Well, a third time when you bring your mate Robbie, please.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll ask him.
Sam, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And I'll see you next week. We are going to film, but for the final.
For the final.
I don't know if it's after the semis. I can't remember, but before the final will be another episode of Sam and I talking Euros. So, Tubes, thank you so much.
If they play my formation on Saturday, can I come back and do that episode as well?
100%.
Oh,
Yes.
done.
Yes, if they do your formation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
okay.
win.
So I won't see you next week then.
We won't see.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
won't see if you do for a formation and they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't want to
Fair
embarrass you coming up if
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
lost, like you mean. So.
And thank you very much for watching and listening to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill.